The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters out there. Welcome to The Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and thanks so much for joining me. Folks, I absolutely love being here with you, and we're off to wonderful Wednesday. You got to love Wednesdays. Halfway through, well, not exactly halfway through the work week, but we're certainly nearing that. Got a, hopefully, already thinking towards the weekend. You know, it must be summertime. Hopefully you're off to a great start of your work day or your play day, whatever it might be, and if you're not, you absolutely should, folks. Just take yourself to a wonderful place. Maybe we can take myself over to Lanai, my favorite spot on the planet. You know, you should have a favorite spot on this planet as well, and you want to be able to go there anytime you've got to make a decision, because when you make decisions, folks, I can guarantee you one thing, and you're always making decisions. You want to make sure that you are making decisions from a state of strength. You know, oftentimes, you know, you'll make decisions when you have all this fear running through you, and I can promise you one thing. When you're making decisions from a state of fear, you are not making a good decision. You know, so just simply change your pattern. Change your state. That's an easy thing to do. When you're fearful, there's certain things, there's certain patterns, just like patterns in the marketplace, that you absolutely have to do. When you're sad, there are absolutely certain patterns, certain things that you have to do. There's a way that you look. You're going to look down versus looking up. So if you are coming from fear, stand up, you know, go ahead and release some of that cerebral fluid to your brain by moving your spine, by just simply doing a few twists. You know, maybe you can do the chubby checker twist and stand up and look up to the sky. Usually, you know, if you're here in Florida, well, at least the central part of the state these days, you're waking up to certainly blue skies, folks, and nothing like being able to, I don't care whether the skies are blue or whether they're black because there's rain clouds or whatever, just simply change your state. Make sure that you look up and change your state and come from a place of strength. That's what I do every time I go to that wonderful place right there over my left-hand shoulder. Now, we're going to talk about the markets absolutely here in just a moment, but success, I want you to think about this. So I'll leave you with a thought for the day. Well, I'm going to begin it with a thought for the day. Think about successes that you've had in your life. Now, success, folks, usually, if not always, is a result of what? It's a result of good judgment. Think about that. All the successes that you've had in your life, you can attribute that to good judgment, right? Doesn't matter whether it was through luck, through hook, or through crook. Doesn't matter. Success is usually the result of good judgment. Well, what's good judgment the result of? What was that good judgment the result of? It's right. It was a result of experience. So then think about that. Success is a result of good judgment. Good judgment is a result of experience. What is experience the result of, folks? Just to kind of figure out this circle here that goes on. You know what experience is a result of? You know it. It's a result of bad judgment, right? So you've got that little spiral. So, you know, if you, and think about this. A lot of times people will take a look at bad judgment, then they'll take a look at it as creating a problem. Now, here's the deal with problems. What I want you to do is, sometimes people will, you got bulls and bears, and we got a market full of bulls and bears. You want to talk about a two-way trading market? We absolutely have it. I'm going to show you patterns that are out there that you can use, that you can rely upon, so that you can maybe have some better judgment, maybe so that you can get rid of the bad judgment, maybe you can have some better experiences, because this is the money game after all. And so I'm going to show you those patterns that exist in the marketplace. We're absolutely going to do that. But what I want you to do, just like there's bulls and bears, you can choose whether you're going to focus on some experience as being positive or negative. If you think that your problems are really a problem, you've got bigger problems. Problems, folks, are absolutely gifts. In fact, if you've got a lot of problems in your life, you've got to feel like it's the holidays, like it's Christmas, because you've been given all kinds of gifts. Because without problems, without all those gifts, folks, you will never grow. So think about this. Success is the result of good judgment. And good judgment, folks, it's the result of experience. And you can choose what to experience with all of your experiences. How about that? But experience is the result of bad judgment. And, folks, those bad judgments, those are usually gifts for you so that you can learn. You can watch us here on TigerTV, when it comes to these markets. And we do appreciate everybody listening to us on the radio. But when it comes to, and this show is archived on Channel 9. So if you're listening on the radio, wonderful thing. When you get back home, go take a look at it on your computer, your iPad, your iPod, your any kind of iDevice. You just can't do it on a rim. And you can simply rewatch the show. You can probably fast forward, and you can take a look at some of the chart patterns. Right now, we've got our favorite in the morning. We start off with the ES Mini. We take a look at the ES Mini here right now. It has made a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD down. That completes at 1393. It's trading right now at 1393.75. It's coming right back to yesterday's breakout. Take a look at that long green candle. I don't know what it actually looks like on your television set, your TigerTV television set, but that is one heck of a bullish engulfing, but it's really, forget about that. It's just simply one heck of a breakout that we had in that 10 o'clock time frame, that 10 to 10:30 time frame, and that is all that the market has done at this stage, making 100% move. It absolutely is doing that. It's coming right back to a breakout area. You know, what we do teach around here is waiting for something to come back to a breakout area. Now what you need is you really need to understand the power of that C to D leg. You need to really understand the A to B equals CD patterns that exist in the marketplace. You know, if you were up at about 3:30 in the morning, like I was, the DAX was up. It was up pretty healthy. Right now, you got the DAX down about 40 points. It's down about 5.6%. You've got the FTSE trading down almost a full percent. It's down 0.9%. It's down 51 points right now. How about over in Spain? The rain in Spain still, I went ahead since, Tom is the one who really pointed out to us what was going on with Spain. Spain back into headed back to the March 09 levels, maybe even before that. You've got Spain right now down 3.2%. It's down 226 points as we speak. Our markets, you take a look at the ES Mini here, it's off about 0.5%. Right now down 6 points. And right now, as we came into the 9 o'clock hour, there's a possibility that as you make a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD, let's see, where we closed as we came into 9 o'clock, the actual close on that candle, 1393 even. Let's make sure that we opened up at 1393, which we did. And so by 9:30, we're going to know if we've got a bullish engulfing candle or if this A to B equals CD is going to continue on down and make a 1 to 1.272 like it should. So now the real line that is drawn in the sand here is the breakout area. You can see we've come right into it. The market has come right into that area. We're going to see just how important that breakout is. It's going to be tested today. It absolutely is. And you're in the right spot. Why? Because it is Wonderful Wednesday. And after this show, you've got Tom and I doing the Money Masters. Then we go up to Newton, Mass. We go to our man, Mr. Basil Chapman. We get to go to the North Shore in Hawaii. And we get to take a look at the Chapman wave. Have you ever been to the North Shore, folks, in the January time frame when those waves are rolling in? You should put that absolutely on your list of things to do. And it looks like Larry is out sick, so I am imagining maybe Basil or somebody's filling in for him. I'm not certain just yet, but we do go to David White from 3 to 4. We come all the way back here from 3 to 4. Now, you know how we've always talked about May 2nd, 2011 being the highs in the marketplace, right? And yesterday was May the 1st. May the 1st, the Dow made a new high. You would think that maybe it was off by one day, right, if you were just simply celebrating the anniversary. But you know how I said we come back here from 3 to 4 to David White? Really, we have David White. If we didn't have David White in house, okay, and, David was born on February 29th. He's a leap year person. We celebrated his birthday this year, didn't we? We had leap year. If we didn't have leap year, yesterday would have been May the 2nd. Something to think about. Is it possible that the highs were made in the market on May the 2nd, 2011, and in reality, it was really made 365 days later on May the 2nd, 2012, if we just simply got rid of that leap year stuff? In fact, I don't even understand leap year. But it is a good thing, and so I was reminded by it this morning as David had sent me a nice email with some of the Gartleys and butterflies. It's part of the software that he's working on for the art of the chart, and I really do appreciate that. And I got that email, and I was thinking about the May 1st and thinking about May 2nd, and I said, oh, wait a minute here. It really was 365 days with regard to a market high. So that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it, folks? So we're going to see how these markets trade now. We take a look at the AB equals CD patterns that are out there. If I just simply take this back now, as we were making highs yesterday, and I pointed this out, oftentimes I do a video update for my newsletter subscribers towards the afternoon session, just simply so that they can see and they know what is going on out there. I'm showing them the patterns. And when we take a look at the lows that were put in here, again, we're going back to the lows on the 23rd of last month, April, and we take a look at the A to B equals C. Now, What I will tell you is the AB equals CD that we just looked at on the way down, that's the first one on the way down ever since we came off of the low, ever since the market came off the low in that 10:30 time frame on April the 23rd. Now, when we take a look at this A to B equals CD, along the way, there's floors, there's levels, it's like an elevator on the way up. And the markets do what they're supposed to do. In this case here, the 1-to-1 was at 1376. Look, the market gets up to 1376, trades sideways. Makes its next move up to 1.272, trades sideways. Moves up to 1.618, basically trades sideways. Makes its way up to the 2 level. That's what Tom taught us in that first book of his. And so what does it do? It actually retraces a little bit lower. When it retraces, it actually does, I believe, a 0.618 retracement. And then what's it do yesterday? Not yesterday. What does it do at 10 o'clock on the 27th? The 2.618 area. Well, you know what yesterday it was doing? It was having some pie. It was having some good old American apple pie before it decided to do an AB equals CD down, folks. We'll be right back.
X-Story Gold Mines, an NYSE Amex-listed company trading under the symbol XG, is slated to be the newest gold-silver producer in Argentina. X-Story is forecast to produce more than $250 million in bullion annually, beginning in 2013, at a cash cost of less than $200 for each ounce of gold produced. That forecast will make X-Story one of the highest margin operators in South America and a sector leader in the mining industry. X-Story has $50 million in its treasury, having spent over $60 million to date on drilling and engineering. The ultimate size of its Argentina discovery could be determined by year-end, as results from the 6 drills operating at the site are fully assessed. To find out more about X-Story Gold Mines and their exciting growth potential, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE Amex under the symbol XG.
TFNN is proud to bring you the cutting edge of investment newsletters. Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Ken is a top-down investor who lets price and volume in the major stock indices tell him when to be in the market and when to be out. By using his unique blend of fundamental and technical analysis, Ken will protect your hard-earned capital while realizing breakout gains. Go to TFNN.com today, click Investment Newsletters, and get Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks free for 2 weeks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game, risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Here's what people are saying about about TigerTV.
Let's go to John in Tampa. Hey, John, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
A wonderful day. I love your Tiger TV. I watch it every day. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, man, I appreciate you out there watching it. How long have you been watching the Tiger TV?
I'm watching almost a month now, and it's wonderful.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it's cool. You see the charts and everything. Thanks so much for the hard work.
TigerTV, a great news service from TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. 877-927-6648. So let's go take a look at what is popping and what is dropping in the pre-market here. Lots of earnings releases after the bell. Lots of earnings releases before the bell this morning, after the bell last night, and before the bell this morning. So on the way up, you've got Trip Advisors. TRIP is the ticker symbol. They closed out yesterday at 36.53. The last trade just fired off at 42.80. That's up a healthy 17+%. You've got Phoenix Companies, Inc. They're next in line. PNX is the ticker symbol there. They're up 15% this morning. It closed out at 2.08 yesterday. Last trade just fired off at 2.39. You've got True Religion. I own a pair of those jeans, and I heard Tom saying that he bought a pair at the outlet store. So did I just a while back, and so, it was nice paying what I would call, I guess normal prices for a pair of jeans. Nice jeans, very comfortable, I have to admit. But the market here likes them as well. They're up 9, almost 10%. They closed out yesterday, $27.88, and $30.55 was the last trade that fired off. You've got Digital Globe, DGI Inc. They're up 7.5%. They closed out $12.28. They just fired off at $13.22. You've got WellCare, WCG. They're up a little over 8% this morning. Looks like their revenues here, let's see here, what were their earnings per share? $1.18 versus 50 cents. That's a healthy increase. And revenues $1.7 billion versus $1.47 billion. You got to love that. And so they're up a nice healthy, 8.5%, 8.2%. You've got Thor, THOR, Thor Attic Corp. They're up about 8% as well. Let's see, what else we have here? Anything that you guys might normally focus on here? Let's take a look as we go down the list. Garmin, how about that? Haven't looked at that stock for a while. GRMN. They're up 4.75% this morning. Let's see, what did they do? They've got sales $556 million versus $507. Income $86.8 versus $95. But the street is still digging what they've done. They're up nicely this morning as well. Let's see, on the way up, you got CBS Corp. CBS up 3.6%. They closed out at $33.42, trading out at $34.95 right now. Let's see, Vonage, VG. Any of you out there own a Vonage phone system? Well, you must, because they're up 3.5% this morning. They closed out at $205, trading up at $212 as we speak. Keytronics, some of you must have some Keytronics stuff. KTCC, they're up 3.3%. Oh, Papa John's. Yesterday we were talking about Domino's. Domino's was putting too many pepperonis on their pizza. They were trading down yesterday, at least in the pre-market. I didn't take a look at how they closed, but you got Papa John's. Papa John's is, let's just say it's up 3%. They closed out at $39.49. Make sure I get you the right information. A lot of stuff on my screen here. Papa John's, they closed $39.49, traded out at $40.80 just a few moments ago. Let's see here. They did revenue $331 million versus $312, and net income $16.7 versus $16.4. What would you rather have, a Domino's pizza or Papa John's? Personally, I'd like a Papa John's instead of a Domino's, and the market is saying the same thing. How about that? How about Sturm Ruger? That is I think it might be number 1 or very close to the top on the IBD list. You've got that up 3.3%. It closed at $55.14, trading out at $57.10. Let's take a look. Their net sales, $112 million versus $75. So those are some nice growing numbers. Their earnings per share, 79 cents versus 42 cents. And let's see here. Where's the income report? Well, that's good enough. Let's just keep going and taking a look here. Let's go to what is, since we have about just a little less than a minute left here, let's go take a look at what is dropping. So you got Open Table. Any of you folks ever use Open Table? It's a nice little device on your iPhone, iPad. However, they're trading down 15% right now. They closed out at $43.68, and apparently not enough of you are using them. And 36.85. Of course, for me, it's a free app. So, I don't know what they're generating their revenue off of. Must be some ads, or maybe it's actually, I imagine they're generating their revenue off of the reservation if you actually buy. But, I'm not really sure what their model is. Their net income, $4.8 million versus $4.1, so not too bad. How about Rate, R-A-T-E, Bank Rate International? They're trading off 10% this morning. You've got GTS, Triple S Management Corp. They're also down about 9%. You've got Ubiquity Networks, UBNT. Chesapeake Energy, they're down 8%. These are all down about 7 or 8%. Cavium, C-A-V-M. Let's see, what else do we have down here? It's Morning for Opens being down. Open Text Corp, they're off 4.5%. When we get back, folks, we're going to go take a look at these markets. They're certainly not going to pop. We'll go see how they react as soon as we get back.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when temporary market spikes move against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the advantage of keeping your trades open even when the market temporarily spikes against you. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique short-term binary options that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've always thought about trying out his newsletter, Market Insights. Well, now is the perfect time. For a limited time only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom O'Brien's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. If you decide to cancel within the 2-week trial period, pay absolutely nothing and keep Tom's book as a free gift from us. Tom sends out his daily newsletter each morning by 9:30 a.m. with trade recommendations, including price targets and price stops. As recently as March 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out a position for more than a 25% profit in just over 2 weeks. To get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights, along with your free copy of The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Supplies are limited for this one-of-a-kind special, so act today and don't let this opportunity pass you by. Offer only valid for new subscribers. In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and the Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
You got the Dow off 52 points. That's about 0.4 percentage down. You've got the S&P off 8. Composite off about 15.5. Small caps leading the charge on the way down a full, almost a full 6 points, about 0.7%. Microsoft trading off 16 ticks right now. Intel off 9. Google off 3. Cisco off 17. But we got Apple. Apple up $1.20 right now. So let's see what is popping and what is dropping. Then we'll go take a look at the King, because the King is back in the building. Got King Dollar trading out right now at 79.35. But also popping, you've got Standard Micro, SMSC. They're leading the charge dollar-wise and percentage-wise. They're up 38% this morning. Let's see what is behind that move, because somehow that didn't pop up in earnings. Let's see here. Can I find anything out here? Let's see. Okay. Microtechnology and SMC announced the acquisition. Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So TripAdvisors, then, we'll take a look at them, is leading the charge on the way up. They're up 21% right now, trading up $7.53. AGP, Amerigroup, they are up 8%. I don't think I covered them this morning. They're up 8.5%. Their revenues here, $1.7 billion versus $1.5 billion from last year. Also, you've got Wynn Resorts. Wynn Resorts now up 1.3%. They're trading up $1.86. Let's see here. Any news on why they might be trading up? No, nothing that I see out there. Let's see. American Eagle Outfitters, AEO. They're up 8.6%. Let's see here. Sales, net sales are up 18% to $719 million versus $610. Not too shabby. Their earnings per share, though, looks like that's maybe 18 cents versus 20. Versus 20. But still trading up. On the downside, again, Open Table leading the charge on the way down. Only a couple percent, though. Trading off $10. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 16% on the way down. I was looking at MasterCard, who jumped up in front there. So you got Open Table down 16%, down $7. MasterCard, dollar-wise, leading the charge on the way down. They are down $10, which is only about 2%. You've got INT, which is World Fuel Service. They're off 8%. And Allegrin, AGN, they're off about 3%. And let's take a quick look here. I'm going to take a quick look, and then we'll come to King Dollar and the charts. Let's take a look at the IBD 50. Let's see what we have going on here this morning. In the IBD 50, looks like you've got maybe about two-thirds of the stocks are to the downside. TripAdvisor being the leader to the upside. To the downside, we talked about MasterCard. You've got Ubiquity Networks. Priceline trading off a couple of bucks. Mercado Libre off a couple of bucks. Visa off a couple of bucks. Chipotle. How was that? I think I might have got it there today. Okay, I got the thumbs up from our man Al in the production booth. And that's off, just trading off a buck. VMW, they're trading down to Lexington Pharmaceuticals. So let's go take a look at the King. Let's look at King Dollar, because King Dollar definitely back in the building. And this market is not going to get any juice if King Dollar decides to keep moving up. Of course, King Dollar is nothing more than the basket of currencies between the euro, the pound, the yen, the Swiss franc, the Swedish krona, And when we take a look at I'm looking at just really a trend line, folks. All I've done here this morning is a couple different patterns that we're going to take a look at. What I've done is I've drawn a trend line coming back to the bottom of August 29, 2011. And really, it's pretty simple. You know, if you've got a tool that draws lines, mine here, I simply can extend it out as far as I want. All I'm doing is hitting the low there from August 29th. You can do this at home on your version as well. And what we're taking a look at is just simply lining up with the October 27th. We know October 27th low out there, folks. You know, October 27th is an important day. We take a look at all of our ETFs and stocks that we would hold. And what we're taking a look at here is just simply hitting the bottom of that 74.86. Well, lo and behold, when you take a look at, and I didn't pick up on this until I think it was late yesterday, when you take a look at the U.S. dollar index as it was moving down on the 27th, moving down last week, moved right down into that trend line. Now, it was also happened to be coming into this bullish engulfing candle here from the 29th. And if you take a look at the King dollar here on the 30th, really was trading right, it opened up and traded right into that trend line as well. It did the same thing and rejected that area yesterday, closed just slightly above it. And this morning, just simply like a trampoline, it has trampolined off, jumping higher. It is rejected the lower price of that bullish engulfing candle. We also had a nice bullish engulfing candle right here on April the 3rd. Right now, however, for those folks, you don't want to celebrate because all it's doing is bouncing. There still is an A to B equals CD down. There's a couple of out here. The smaller one is this one that is still intact. And that would take it right down to 78.01. That would help you to make a 100% move of a move. But I can tell you, when you take a look at the trend line, when you take a look at these bullish engulfings, it's going to have to fight its way through that area. And that is on King dollar. Of course, if we go take a look at the euro, nobody is buying the euro. Look at how that thing is getting whacked after it came into its trend line. Had someone in the den yesterday as the market was moving up. I can't recall. Might have been MMS, I think, or someone in the den was just simply taking a look at the trend line, the reverse trend line. That was the trend line coming off of the euro going back to the the February 29th high that it made. That was in at 1.3843. And you would just simply take your trend line and hit the next high that was out there, which was April the 2nd. And when you take a look at what the euro did, the euro bounced right up into that area. I was showing here just simply an uptrend channel, small uptrend channel that had developed here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Let's go ahead and get rid of the retracement there. And you can see that the euro, trading much, much lower this morning. Now let's take a look at the retracement here that the euro has done thus far. That's coming off of the low of April the 16th all the way up to the high that was put in on yesterday's. And what you can see is in one day, you've come all the way down to, you're coming down right here into the bullish golfing in candle. Let me make sure that is. Let's see here. It's just the swing point. Let's see. And what I'm looking at, folks, is March 14th. So March 14th, you close at 133.13. You open at 133.11. You're good. You opened up here at 130.099. You closed at 130. No. Okay. So nothing more than coming down into the swing point here from March the 15th. The high on that swing point was 131.183. So far this morning, it got down to 131.209. And you can see it's really doing a 0.618 retracement as well. But when you do that in one fell swoop, which is what it's doing, it's telling you that you actually got lower price in the euro coming at us. I guess that makes sense because I don't see any takers, people that want to exchange their greenbacks, King dollar, for euros at the moment. At least nobody's putting up their hands inside the den. Let's go take a look at just the early stages of the ETF structures out there, see what kind of volume we have this morning, because we certainly didn't have volume yesterday. So let's take a look at all four of them. I've got the 5-minute chart. We've been trading for 12 minutes here, and you can see no real volume that's sticking out on the small caps to the downside. You opened up 746,000 shares. Of course, you had big volume come in at that last 5 minutes. Look at that. That's the last 5 minutes here inside the small caps yesterday, 3.5 million shares. So you just kind of disregard, we'll just disregard that one. Of course, you are trading the small caps. They certainly were sending out a signal. And sending out a signal, folks, with regard to the indexes that are out there, just simply absolute weakness. Absolute weakness. They were the first ones to cut through the breakout that we had at 10 o'clock yesterday. You bounced up with 3 million shares, and, it pulled back all the way into that area, almost to the beginning of that breakout. And it didn't need a whole lot of volume on the way down. Let's go take a look at the other 3 ETFs. Let's look at the SPYs, see what we have going on in the SPYs. We'll go ahead and blow that up here on the screen. On the open in the first 5 minutes, 3.7 million shares. 2.9 in the next 5 minutes. This third 5-minute session ends in about 2 minutes here. 9:43. Yep, 2 minutes. You've already done 1.4 million shares. It has not made its way back to this breakout area. I would expect it at least to test the low of 139.79. 139.71. More likely, I would think 139.63. Let's take a look at the other 2 remaining ETFs. Let's look at the diamonds on the 5-minute chart here, see what kind of volume. The diamonds here looks like all that they've done is a retracement. If we take our retracement ruler, we go from the swing point low at 10 a.m. up to the high that was put in here right around noon. It was 11:55. You can see you're trading below the 0.618 area. That sets the next target as 131.77. That's on a quick 5-minute chart out there. Let's go take a look at the Qs. Let's see how the Qs are behaving. You got Apple up $4 right now, and the Qs, which have been a leader on this move down. What is that red line I have out there? Must have been from just simply a prior day. So you got the Qs here. Let me just go ahead and put this. Let's see what kind of expansion of swing points we might have out there. And the Qs, nothing there. You get that 1.414, nothing. But you do have the Qs here. This morning they opened lower with about 1.6 million shares. Of course, I'm rounding up. You did 1.5. The next 5-minute shares. The Qs now trying to close the gap from this morning. Well, left over from last night. And the low there was 66.86. You're trading out at 66.65 right now. Let's go take a look at. How about AB equals CD patterns? I announced yesterday that I'm going to be doing a one-day. Let me just close all these. A one-day workshop, a master trader workshop, and it's really all about, folks. It's really all about buying and selling the D point. And so what I want to show you is just simply, the normal, and this, folks, works on anything. It works on ETFs. It works on stocks. It works on commodities. Works on futures contracts. It works everywhere. And so, you want to be able to understand these patterns. It works on any time frame. So let's just simply close this window here. Let's close this. And let's go ahead and let's pull up a chart. What chart do you want to pull up? How about if we go take a look at the XLE? Let's go take a look at the XLE, the energy sector, because we know the energy sector was a weak link. In fact, it was the sector that had the weakest link that was leading the market down into the lows of March the 6th and then into the lows here just last Monday. And so what I want to show you here is I'm going to show you an A to B. I'm going to show you 2 A to B equals CD patterns that are out there. And then we'll go ahead and dissect those. Then we can go take a look at a stock. We can take a look at, this happens to be a daily. So I've got the XLE on a daily chart here. And this is one that I overlooked and didn't realize until I was putting together my update for my clients yesterday. Of course, what I was scouring around for was other buys or sells. Now, when you take a look at this chart that I've got here, when I use my formation tool, that's what we're looking at, and I call it a formation tool. That's simply because that's what Ensign calls it. And that formation tool is just simply forming my A to B equals CD pattern. What I want to be able to teach you folks, what I am going to teach you, what I absolutely am going to teach you if you attend the online workshop and you get the archive of it, so you're going to be able to go watch it for, 30 days as often as you want. I want to teach you to be the master of the C to D leg. Now, here's what I really want you to think of, and it just kind of came off the top of my head yesterday when Tom and I were doing the Money Masters show. How many of you have sat down to do a puzzle? Have you ever just, I'm not a person that likes to put a big puzzle out and just simply, and do a puzzle, especially in the beginning when you're doing a puzzle, folks. What you're doing is you're looking to create your foundation, aren't you? You're trying to create your outer edge. You're looking for all those flat pieces. That makes it a little bit easier. Well, when you take a look at by putting together a puzzle, I think if you've got 75% of the puzzle done, how easy is it for you to finish the rest of the puzzle versus when it's just simply there? Exactly. You want to talk about being able to just simply take a look at doing a puzzle when you've got 75% of it done. And that's what the ABCD pattern is really all about, because you've got the A point that's going to form. If you're not in a trade and you're just simply following a stock, following an ETF, following a currency, following a futures contract, folks, and you're not in the trade and you're looking to get in the trade, you're just simply looking for the 75% of the puzzle that's out there. And then you're just simply going to focus on that remaining 25%. That's what the entire workshop is about, is focusing. Well, it's not the entire workshop, but it's a good portion of it. In this case here, you've got the puzzle when you have the A point, the B, and the C point. In this case here, the A point was the high out here on February 24th. The XLE got up to 76.50. Your B point was right down here on March the 6th. Makes sense, right? March the 6th, the market moved down lower. You had your B point, the low there, 72.58. What happens? It does a retracement. What kind of retracement? Well, this is going to be no great shakes to you if you don't just simply go from your A to your B, and you've got basically was doing a 0.786 retracement. 75.66 would have been the exact number you get up to 75.47. You got to love it. That's your C point. You now have 75% of your puzzle done. Now, all you need to do in attending the workshop, I'm going to just simply, or you want to do, look, if you don't attend the workshop, you want to make sure that you become a master of that C to D leg. Well, let me tell you, folks, when you gap down to make the D point, it's telling you that there's lower prices coming. Not only when you take a look at the inside move here that was made, but when you do that, there's lower prices coming. What did the XLE do? Well, it finally made a 1 to 2 A to B equals C to D. It actually made two A, B, C, D patterns, folks. How about this one? Here's your A, here's your B, here's your C, there's your D. You make a 1 to 1. You get two ABC patterns coming together in exactly the right spot, folks. That's what it's all about. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foresight Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Put the power of the Chapman Wave methodology to work for you. No matter what market you trade, what time frame you trade in, or your trading style, the opening call, Basil Chapman's daily market newsletter, is bursting with the information and trades you need to become a more successful trader.
I've been using Basil Chapman's Chapman Wave methodology for several years now. His Chapman Wave can be used for any time period for not only equities, but futures, currencies, commodities. I've been also a subscriber of his opening call, which I find find an invaluable tool to help me analyze the potential of the market each day. It gives you opportunities to go short and long. It includes recommendations on stocks. I strongly recommend people using the Chapman Wave, and I very, very strongly support the use of his opening call.
To find out more about Basil Chapman and his Chapman Wave methodology, and to get your 2-week free trial of the opening call, a $64 value, visit tfnn.com today.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we pay you more for converting your jewelry to cash.
Let's go to Brian in New Jersey. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, just want to let you know I did give you some jewelry. My jeweler offered me about $650, but you get a check in the mail tomorrow for about $1,200.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, it's all about honesty when converting your jewelry to cash.
Okay, let's go to Paul in Florida first. Hey, Paul, what's going on?
I want to commend you on the Tiger Metal Exchange. I just did a deal with you guys the other day.
Oh, good.
I'm very happy.
Well, I appreciate it. Now, Did you sell us jewelry or did you buy coins off us?
Yeah, I sold you jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What we weighted at was less than you guys said, so, you're totally honest.
At Tiger Metal Exchange, we give you the tools to value your gold, and it's absolutely free. Call 866-618-8888 or log on to TigerMetalExchange.com. We've created the easiest, safest, and most honest cash for gold process. Tiger Metal Exchange. It's the only call you need to make.
Catch Tom O'Brien and Steve Rhodes as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. The Money Masters, next on TFNN.
Welcome back to wonderful Wednesday, folks. And following this show, you got Tom and I doing the Money Masters. And then you're going to have back-to-back. You got Basil Chapman playing a doubleheader today. He's going to go ahead and fill in for Larry Pesavento. Larry's been good enough to be in the den and post some charts, but apparently he does not have a voice. So Basil's going to be the voice of Larry Pesavento today from 12 to 1. And then all the way back here to David White, the warm-up band for the Tom O'Brien Show. Now, I have a client that had asked me to take a look at SWC, so we're going to take a look at that first, and then we'll go over to Lou in New Hampshire. SWC, Stillwater Mining. Folks, I want to just simply show you the A, B, C, D patterns that are out there. You know, I teach you about the Fibonacci numbers, a summation series, and when we take a look at ABCs out here, because, they're made on ABC patterns are out there everywhere. I want to be able to teach you how to buy and sell the D point. That's what the workshop is all about. You will not be unhappy. When we go take a look at February 24th, you have Stillwater Mining, and folks, they engage in the development, extraction, and smelting, refining, and marketing of palladium, platinum, and all the platinum group metals out there. So the high is February 24th. You make a high 1524. That's your A point. Your B point is coming down into March 6th. Makes a lot of sense. Kind of a common date out there, right? Comes down with 3.1 million shares. That's your B point. Your C point is when it makes a retracement up to the 319 area. Now, when it makes that retracement, folks, you want to understand what is that retracement percentage? Where is that on the Fibonacci number? Well, Fibonacci-wise, it's just above a 0.382 area, but pretty much at that 0.382 area, that tells you you're going to do more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD down. And where's your next level? Well, 1-to-1 is 1106. 1 to 1.272, $10.31. Where does it get down to? It gets down to a low of 1040. That, folks, is close enough for me. Now, let's go to take a look at one of Steve's hammers that is out there. Steve's hammer right here, you've got on October 4th. Now, that makes sense that would be a low. Also happened to be a hammer candle. You had follow through on the next day with a close higher. This is Stillwater Mining. SWC is the ticker symbol on this. And if we go take a look at the Fibonacci retracement from the low of October 4th all the way up to the high that was put in on the 24th of April, sweet 618, $10.34. So we had $10.34 as a 618 retracement. You got $10.30 as a 1 to 1.272 A to B equals CD. You got really just about everything. Now let's go take a look at the B point. Let's go see how it crossed the B point here. The B point had volume of 3.1 million shares out there. Let's take a look and see, was this a Tiger Gartley that we're setting up here? Let's take a look at that B point. And it looks like it pretty much is. You had maybe a little bit too much volume as you were coming to that D point there on April the 26th. But you've got pretty much everything you need. It's pulling back today. I'd watch this one, see what kind of test it does of the swing point low on April the 26th. That low out there of $10.40. Let's quickly go to Lou in New Hampshire. Lou, thanks for holding. And you wanted to take a look at Great Panther, GPL. Tell me what you're doing, and I'll see if I can help you real quick.
I'm in at 197.
197. Okay, I like that price. Looks like there's probably some AB equals CD patterns, but what you did here on Great Panther is you came into the swing point. Let's take a look at what it did here. December the 29th, you had 1.1 million shares. You came in there with 977,000 shares, and you might have an island reversal. The high of that is 190, low of the next session 190. You don't have that. You're in at 190 what? 197. Looks like a good spot. I would have a stop underneath the 182 area. You might want to take a look at what the average true range is, but I'd have it somewhere underneath the $1.82. Thanks for calling, Lou. Folks, it is marvelous. Well, it's marvelous. No, it's not marvelous. It's Wonderful Wednesday. Stay tuned. Tom and I will be up next. And if you've got problems, folks, you've got all kinds of gifts in your life. Be grateful for that. We'll be right back. See you in a few minutes.